What advice would you give to women going into international development today, either as foreign service officers and as program specialists? And related to that, what skills do you feel are important to succeed and make a difference in this field?
Whether you're a man or a woman. I think in terms of advice to women, when I joined the agency, I can remember the wife of my first boss overseas, lovely people, wonderful woman, and she said, "What made you decide to go into the agency as a woman? Or why did you as a woman make that decision?" And I sat there kind of dumbfounded, because when I grew up in the 60s, you never felt that there wasn't anything you couldn't do. I mean, I don't know that the glass ceilings had been broken, but we sure grew up in the 60s believing we could do anything we wanted to do. And so I contemplated that question for a minute, and I said, I don't think I made the decision as a woman. I just really wanted to work in development, and this was my pathway. This is what I did. Which is not to say there were not challenges. I think the agency has always, and then of course, there were women in the agency before me, and many, many more women came in after me. And I think the agency has also been internally very interested in promoting women through the ranks. So I don't know if that's been too much of an issue. I don't know what it's like right now. But it certainly seems that a lot of women have been promoted. Many of my friends became mission directors, AAs, counselors, to the administrator. So I think no avenue's been unturned. I mean, I think every avenue's been open to women. I do think, I suspect even now, I think that women, when they work overseas in particular, they have to remember that they are always representing the United States of America, not only during working hours, but after hours. And the strain, I think, for the single woman is having a social life that's meaningful, having a meaningful social life when you are overseas and working in different cultures. And there's no one piece of advice you can ever give anyone, just that it's different. I don't think women who are married and overseas with their husbands and their families face that in the same way. But that I think single women have to really think about what's appropriate in that culture. And we need our social life as well as our professional life, so it's finding that balance. I think that's the biggest challenge. And what was the second part of your question?
What skills do you feel are important to succeed and to make a difference in this field?
I don't mean this to sound trite, but what comes to my mind, and I mean this at all levels, is you have to listen. I mean, not only are you needing to listen to your team members in AID, but you have to, when you're going overseas and you're reaching out and you're trying to identify, you have to go and identify all of those stakeholders. You have to be within the country. You have to be able to listen and understand their perspectives. Doesn't mean we will always agree, but sometimes we go in with preconceived notions. Oh, I worked on this particular program, in Ghana, so it must, I think I'm just going to basically do the same thing over here now that I'm in Yemen. Well, no, you're not, because they're totally different places. And I think by and large, I think the agency, people in the agency are bright and intelligent and wanting to do well. But sometimes we forget to open up those ears and really hear what everybody else is telling